about shadow work, I know what I think. The first thing that comes to mind is that it's something mysterious, spooky, I don't want to know about it. But in the case, that's what shadow work is. It's something that's in the subconscious that wants to come out. And it'll come out in many different ways, shadow projection or uncontrolled anger or many other little things. And you're wondering, well, that doesn't seem like myself. Like, why am I doing that? And it's all dealing with the shadow. And how I, started my journey on doing shadow work was that I actually was like mirroring or using other people as a mirror, and whatever I felt uncomfortable or what my thoughts were, I just journaled them down and went back and looked to see if there was a pattern, and that's one way of doing shadow work. Other ways are dream journals and, whatever makes you feel uncomfortable. But a few books that I have read on shadow work, besides, listening to Carl Jung and learning his psychology, was that a few years back I ran into Morgue official, and his first book, Neogenesis, from his book series, was a very useful tool on getting rid of old thought patterns, because the shadow comes from, we all come with a shadow. We're not born with it, but it's a learned behavior from situation, our childhood. And this is a good book to start off with, like I said, to get old faulty patterns out of your mind. The second book that I did read for shadow work comes from Arjun, if I pronounced his name right, and it's Wisdom Through Psychology. I found out this was a very helpful little tool. It's 100 days of basically taking the inventory. Maybe I can get onto one of these days. We're on day 25. Oh, here he has entering your shadow. So I did this book several times. I found it to be a very useful tool. He does have places where you can write. I choose to do it through a notebook, so I could keep on reusing the book, but I could go back from other years and see my growth or places where I need to work on for this year. So the last book is Psychogenesis. I love this book. This book was awesome. I really enjoyed reading it. I look at this one as the cornerstone of the Morgue's book series. I suggest everybody get it, everybody read it, and it's going to take a while to get all this stuff. I didn't get where I'm at just overnight. It took me many years to get as far as I have gone, and I'm kind of grateful for it. And I've done dream work and stuff like that. I could tell you a story about my shadow, and it kind of deals with my, again, near-death experience. When I was, before it happened, I was dealing with my own monsters in my head. And it was kind of scary, and I didn't know what to expect. And before that even happened, I was doing shadow work. And I still had my demons resurfacing and saying, hey, notice us, you know. And it took me, after finding Morgue's work, to find out, because I didn't think I had religious trauma syndrome. It was a big shock for me. When I first came across his work, and they were talking about their RTS, religious trauma syndrome. And I'm going, I don't have that religious trauma syndrome. I kept on going back to his live streams. I kept on listening to it. And it's like, oh, geez, goddamn, I have it. Because I started seeing things in them that I was seeing myself and listening to their story. And going, yeah, I remember being scared. And the biggest thing with my near-death experience, seeing I'm Catholic, I was told if I, you know, right before I die, if I put Jesus in my heart, I go to heaven. So I was still afraid of this heaven, hell, punish, you know, reward system that we're conditioned in. And I didn't see it because I thought I didn't have it, but I still did. Even though, well, my higher power was the goddess of Spinoza, nature. And yeah, I couldn't believe I had that. And it took me time, and it was because of going through, you know, the wisdom through psychology at the time, because Morgue didn't have his other books at that moment, to really see that I suffered from, or I still do, from religious trauma syndrome. So, you know, it's amazing what you can find in your shadow if you just take a look. So I hope you got something, and stay curious. Thank you for watching.
I don't fit in anywhere or belong to anyone, but if I come across an outcast soul, an odd one such as myself, one covered in silken dreams, drenched in satin nightmares, a scar bearer,